I'm back with another tutorial, a live tutorial. I hope you can join me in 47 seconds. So I am going to attempt to do this again by broadcasting live on YouTube and Facebook at the same time. So I'm keeping my fingers crossed that it works. So let's just finish the countdown and I'll be with you in 29 seconds to share with you how to create this fun card, but the fun is on the inside of the card. Hello Stampers! It's Elizabeth again from stampscrapandmore.com. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator located in Canada, and I'm attempting this yet again. I'm attempting to go live on YouTube and Facebook at the same time. I did it once. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do it again. So I see an eye on me, so hello, and welcome to everyone that is going to join on. This will be posted on YouTube later, or it's live on YouTube now, so you'll be able to follow along as well. So today I am going to be playing with the All for One Baby, and I don't even know if it's live or not, to be honest with you. I'm going to be playing with All for One Baby, and we are going to use the stamps, the dies. We're also going to be using the Tasteful Texture 3D embossing folder, the circle dies, the basic border dies, the hand pen designer series paper, and the blending brushes. And the colors are Early Espresso and Balmy Blue. We're going to do a little bit of blending as well. So let's get started. I realized I didn't bring out my border dies as well. So this is the card we're going to be making today. And I feel a cough coming on, so just give me 1 second while I have a sip of water. There we go. Okay. Yeah, I don't see any comments coming up, so I'm not quite sure if this is working. But hello, everybody. Okay, so we're going to be using this, we're going to be making this card, but the magic is on the inside. And that is the inside of the card. So it actually sits like that, and it's really hard to see overhead, but it's sort of two separate pieces. Oh, yay, Emily, I'm live. Thank you, Emily. So Emily, you are seeing me on YouTube, I think it is. So yay. I don't know if people on Facebook can actually comment. I've got to learn this program a little bit better. So this is the card we're going to be making, and it sort of sits like that, and it's a two-part. So you're wondering where I got this idea from. In my travels a few years back, I picked up this card, and I know, really simple card, right? But I loved it, and I got it in Ortigia, which is in Italy, in Sicily, and this was the card. And again, it sits like that. And obviously, this was a die cut, and I love this card. Yes, YouTube, but the comments get delayed. Yeah, okay, thanks, Emily. So I love it, and obviously this was laser cut, but this has been on my desk for 2.5 years now, and I just love it. I adapted it a few years ago for another card, I think a Christmas card, but now I'm going to take it and I'm going to create this card. All right, so let's start off by, I'm using a really gender neutral color. This is the Mint Macaron, and it is 4 1/4 by 11, scored at 5.5. We need a piece of the hand-penned designer series paper that is 4 by 5 1/4, and that is going to go on the outside of the card. We need 2 pieces of, again, hand-penned designer series paper. I wanted to keep it really neutral, so I used this yellow. And again, it's 4 by 5 1/4, and we need 2 pieces. Those are both for the inside of the card for this here. I've die cut out a lot of the pieces already, so I'm good. I've got a lot on my desk. Then we need a piece of the basic white. I've used, no, I've used the regular basic white here, but I think the thick would also be really good to use. And it is 3 3/4 by 10, scored at 5. I've got a piece of early espresso that is 1 1/4 by 3. It's actually going to get cut down a bit. And another piece that's 1 by 3. Oh, and it's 1 1/4. I said by 3. Yeah, by 3. This is going to get hidden, so I'm just going to freehand that. So one's 1 1/4 by 3, and the other is 1 by 3. You need a one of the large circle dies. It's not the really big one. It's nope. It's the third largest scallop die, and then this is the one that nests inside of it. And I have run this already through the Tasteful Texture 3D embossing folder. Put that back. I have already die cut out in really neutral colors 2 onesies, the bib, and a whole bunch of the clothespins, really hard to see, in a crumb cake. And they're really hard to see and easy to lose, so I think I might have lost a couple. And then, so we've got those. You're going to need your early espresso ink for the sentiments, and your balmy blue for the clouds. We're going to do some cloud coloring up at the top. I love this. And a blending brush. So let's get started. And I'm going to be using my Stamparatus, just so you know, just so that I can get a really nice image of the bear. So I'm going to start off by adding all the Designer Series paper to the card. I actually, Emily will know this, reason why I delayed. This was supposed to start at 11, but then I realized the Global Share Fair was still going on. So I knew some of you would watch the Global Share Fair. So I pushed this back to start at 11:30. Okay, easy peasy. And then on the inside, we are going to put 2 of the clouds. Well, they're not clouds, waves, just background paper. I was thinking that you could almost use the new Waves Designer Series paper and add it in there. But I like the yellow because it was very neutral in color and could go for baby boy, baby girl. And I'm just going to give you some tips on how to use the border dies. I love the border dies, but I have to admit that I forgot about the border dies until I went to make this card. Okay, so easy. So really, the inside of the card is done and the outside of the card is done. So I'm going to put that aside, and I'm going to bring out the Stamparatus. And I've shown this trick before. I have already die cut out. I want a nice clean image of the teddy bear right here. So I have already die cut out a few of them in case I make a boo. And I'm going to take my early espresso. Okay. And I'm going to take the die and I'm going to nest it in there a little bit like that. You can see it you can feel it kind of fall into this negative space. I'm going to pick it up, and I should put that down. Let me do this one more time. Yeah. And now I'm going to lightly ink up the teddy bear, and I'm going to stamp in that negative space. And I'm only doing that, and I don't want a real clean image, and it's really hard to see. Now let me ink it up a little bit more. And then I'll show you why. Okay, so I want to make sure that I have even space on all 4 sides. And you'll see on the right-hand side, there's more white space than there is on the left-hand side. So now I am just going to take my paper and I'm going to shift it around just a little bit, and I'm going to bring it up, and I'm going to show you what that means. So now I have better even space on all sides. You know, I'm going to move it up, shift it up a little bit more because I think there's more at the bottom than there is at the top. Okay, so now I'm happy with the placement of where that is in relation to that. I would rather move this around than move this around because this I can see. So because I've stamped in that spot, I can see the exact placement of where that image is. Now I'm going to put in my pre-die cut image. And this is one of the Instinctive photopolymer one set, not Instinctive, but it almost has shadow to it. Shadow texture, I mean, that's what I mean, the texture. So I'm going to stamp it down and really burnish it in. And the reason why I'm using the Stamparatus is because, oh, I must have some dirt on there. I want to make sure I've got a really nice, deeply pigmented image. Yeah, I have some dirt on his paw. Let's try this again. And you know, I have another one because just in case I die cut out more than one. Oh, sorry, just shifted a little bit. There we go. Okay, I die cut out more than one, so I'm doing it one more time. Okay, now I want it a little bit darker. I'm happy with it as it is, but I want it darker. So now I have the opportunity of going back again and doing it. So the reason why I picked a really dark color like Early Espresso was because a lighter color, it would be very, very pale. There we go. And you can go back and you can do that over and over again as many times as you want. But there is my die cut out teddy bear. If I wanted to make multiples of this card, it would be easy peasy to do because I've aligned the image in with the die cut. Okay, now I need to get my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, which I forgot to bring over. And we are going to die cut the border on this. So I think it's important to put your crease in the middle before you die cut. So I am going to lay this on my machine and I'm bringing out, you know, you could have mountains, you can have zigzag, but I'm bringing out the cloud die right here. And I'm going to lay it down kind of like that, putting, let me see if I'm going to move this in a little bit more. Okay, here we go. And you might need some washi tape. So I'm going to put this on the top and I'm going to put this part right in the middle. And you can do it whatever. I wanted clouds to be higher. I wanted the clouds to be a little bit lower. Remember, we have to put the clothesline. We have to stamp the clothesline. And if it's not perfect, that is okay. Or if it shifts a little. So now I'm going to die cut out the one side. Like that. And I guess I should say that cleaner plates, use clean plates, because I noticed I've got a little mark on here. And I'm just going to snip this edge off. And now I'm going to put it back in. I think I have a cleaner plate. I do. I'm going to use the cleaner plate. And now I'm going to do the same thing again. And this time I'm going to line up this edge, kind of with that edge. And this time I'm going to put the plate back on. I don't care if this shifts up a little bit, but I want these two to still match. Whoops. Yep, and it shifted just a little bit. There we go. And now I'm going to run this back through my machine again. And now I've got the cloud on both sides. Like that. Perfect. It's like magic. And I put this away. And now we're going to do some coloring. Let me do this first. Now I've got the clothesline, and I want the clothesline to go like that. And I'm going to use the early espresso. I'm going to live dangerously and not use the Stamparatus, but if you wanted to mass produce these cards or be really extra careful, sometimes if you don't have even pressure on the clothesline, you'll get not a full clean line. But I'm going to live dangerously, and I'm just going to do it like that. And there we go. And there's the clothesline. And while we have that out, I'm going to get the little hands, little hands, little feet, big love. Oh, I already put it out. And again, I'm going to use the early espresso. I was going to say soft suede. Early espresso, and I'm just going to stamp that down here like that. And while I have the ink out again, oh, here I've got a piece on the floor. I'm going to, oops, get a small piece, cast off piece of the basic white, and this is the Hello Little One. And I'm going to stamp it down there like that. Okay, now we can get rid of the ink. And now we're just basically going to assemble the card and color it. Now I'm going to take my Balmy Blue and my blending brush. And I'm going to just gather up some of the ink. If you wanted to, you can take it down and wipe some off to see how dark it is. But I am going to, just wait 1 second, I'm going to get a scrap piece of grid paper so that I can do this and not dirty up the clean one. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to start off the paper, off the cardstock, and I'm just going to blend into the clouds. Oh, look, I got ink on it. I got ink on here. So I'll have to put something there. And I'm going to bring the clouds into the card, and I'm bringing it from the scrap paper onto the card base. And it's going to pick up the color in the stitching. Like the stitching is going to get darker because it seems to gather in the stitch spots. And you can do it as light or as dark as you want. So now when I was making this card, I thought, oh, wow, wouldn't that be great for Christmas? Instead of doing clouds for baby, you can do one of the other. You can do that for Christmas, or you can do that edge, or you can do the clouds and have a row of trees. So there's lots of unique ways that you can use this. I'm going to call it a card layout for lack of what else to call it, or design. But it was all inspired from that one card that I picked up 2.5 years ago. So you can see the clouds, how pretty and blue they are. Just a hint of blue. Alrighty. You see my thumbprints right there. I'll have to figure something to put inside, put right there to cover the thumbprints. Okay, so now I'm going to take the three pieces here that we're going to put on the inside of the card, and I've got my dimensionals. And I'm going to start off with the bib, and it's going to go in the middle. If you would like, I'm going to put just a little dab of Tombow glue right at the top here. And it will be, it's okay, it'll be flush. Nope, that Tombow glue is stuck. I used Tombow glue this morning. Which one? Which one did I use that had, there we go, must have been that one. So I'm putting 2 little dimensionals here, and then I've got a little dab of Tombow glue there. It's okay that it is not going to be on the same level. It's just going to get adhered down to the front of the card like that. And just hold it down until that little dab of Tombow glue cures. And now we're going to put the 2 onesies like that, and I've got big dimensionals here. And it doesn't have to be, if you know that if it's a boy or a girl, or you didn't want to be neutral in the colors, lots of pretty patterns in this designer series paper that you, for blues and pinkishes, that you could use. So you know, this one I made because, you know, you didn't know if it was a boy or a girl, and I thought it was pretty generic. And this one's going to go like that, but just make sure you don't go past that fold line because you don't want to crease the onesie. And this one's going to go on this side like that. Okay, now I have 1, 2, I'm missing one of the clothespins. So it's probably on my desk somewhere. So I'm going to show you what I did. I created a little puddle of adhesive, and I'm going to take some scrap paper. Oh no, I do have one. I've got little tweezers, sorry. I found some little tweezers that are useless in the bathroom, so I'm using these for this type of thing. So little tiny tweezers, and I'm just going to run that like that. And I'm going to put one right in the middle on that bib. Okay, now I'm missing one, so I'm going to put 2 here and ultimately 2 there, but I have to find the other one of the other clothespins before I can do that. And they're going to get mostly adhered to the onesie like that. I'm not worrying about putting dimensionals behind them. And like that. Need a little bit more glue. And one more like this. And I will, before I finish the card, I will die cut another one and put it there. So really, the inside of the card is done. That's all done. That's how simple it is. Now, what did I do with the outside of the card? Okay, so this is the outside of the card. And I'm still looking for one more. It's got to be on my desk. Okay, so now the outside of the card, we are going to layer that inside of the circle inside of the mint macaron, and I'm going to use Tombow glue because of all the cracks and crevices, like that. Oh, itchy eye. Okay, and now for this, I'm just going to flag the end. And the outside of the card, I saw it on someone's blog, and I actually liked the design of it. I wanted it to be quite clean, so I'm kind of recreating that design. So I've flagged one, and now I'm going to take the other, and I'm just going to go up the middle, and then flag on either side, like that. And it'll be like that. This is going to get buried underneath, so I'm going to trim some of it off so that it's not so long. Like that. I'm just going to snip some of that off, freehand it. There we go. And this I'm going to adhere flush onto the card front. Like that. This is going to get popped up like that. I didn't do a very good job flagging it, forking it. And put these on here. And like that. And the teddy bear is going to get popped up. I noticed the original teddy bear, I must have stamped him multiple times because he is darker. And I'm going to pop him up like that. So I must have stamped him multiple times. So it just goes to show, if you want it darker, just keep, that's the benefit of the Stamparatus, just keep re-inking and stamping, re-inking and stamping, and that way you can get it as dark as you want. Like that. Okay, and the Hello Little One, I'm going to trim down. I do this all the time. Split sentiments apart. And trim that down just a little bit. And one more time. And a little bit. And hello. Like that. And then a little one. Like that. I'm going to put a little bit of Tombow glue on the edge there. And a couple of dimensionals. And like that. And then last, I'm going to bring out my linen thread. And this is for the bow. And now I'm going to, I don't know how much I'm going to take. Depends on how fluffy you want the bow. This bow is really fluffy. It's got 4 loops. So I'm just probably going to take 30 inches, I guess this is. Let's see, 16, 32 inches. So this is my gut income adhesive on my fingers. So I'm going to take 2 fingers. I'm going to drop a little bit here. That's my string hanging down. And I'm going to go 1, 2. I'm going to bring in my 3rd finger, 1, 2. And I'm going to go 3. Pick up the center, and you've got a bunch of loops here and a bunch of loops there. I am now going to take, I'm just straightening out the loops a little bit. I'm going to take the top 2 loops like that and gather them and bring them down to meet the base. And I'm going to take the string that I had cut off, the second piece of string, and I'm going to tie a knot. And sometimes I need my mouth, and sometimes I don't, but this time I did. And now I'm going to tie a really, really, really tight knot, like that. And now I have 4 strings hanging down, 2 from the original, and now I have this loopy bow. And I'm just going to fluff it up a little bit. Sometimes you have to pull the strings left and right. But there we have a really pretty fluffy bow. Like that. And I will be cutting those off of the strings off a bit. And I'm just going to add it right there. You can do it with some Tombow glue. You can do it with a glue dot. I'm going to add a couple of glue dots to this. And I'm just going to put it right on the corner like that. And then I'm just going to trim off Oops. Trim off some of the string here. Like that. And there you go. So that is the outside of the card. And the inside of the card is right here. So think of the possibilities, folks. You can, Christmas, Mother's Day is coming. I'm trying to think of what you could do for Mother's Day. Ooh, I have an idea for Mother's Day. There is that stamp set that Stampin' Up! Has that's got the shoe, the lipstick, the purse. You could actually do something like this and have the shoe, the lipstick, and the purse on this side popped up. So who knows, that might be a future card to share with you. So that's it. And I don't even know what it's called, two-part card maybe, two-piece card. And it will sit up like that. Maybe if I come over, no, you can't see it. So it will sit. Mother's Day garden. Oh, Emily, you are brilliant. Yeah. So it would sit up like that. I'm trying to get it so that you can see it without the light shining in there. So that's the two-part card. Thanks for joining in. So I'm not sure how well this worked, but I'll go back and I'll see. When I did this last week, it took like 24 hours for it to, I think, not upload to YouTube, but to go to HD or something. I couldn't do anything to it for 24 hours. It was almost 24 hours. So I like the Mother's Day garden idea, Emily. Really cute. I like that a lot. Okay, take care. Happy stamping, and we will talk to you all again soon. Bye.